Hi, this is Mike Brightman with Brightman Tall, and also author of the SketchUp Workflow for Architecture. So today I want to take a moment to show you some of the new revelations we've had with the system to make things a lot easier. So first off, all the files that I'm discussing today are at SketchUpExchange.com, so SUEXCH.com. And if you look at the TSWFA, which stands for the SketchUp Workflow for Architecture, under that heading, we have our scrapbooks, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And also, we are promoting our online workshop. So if you want to learn this system from front to back over 8 weeks in an online workshop, very affordable and very manageable way to learn this system, we're going to be offering that a little bit later in February. So be sure to check that out, sign up. A great way to learn this system. So on the scrapbooks page, I've created a new scrapbook, and what this does is it expedites all of your tasks in layout, or at least the tasks of stacking viewports and creating a plan. But let's take a moment. If you're aware of this system, you're probably just going to want to download the scrapbooks and start using them. But let me explain the need for the stacked viewports and then show you how this actually expedites that process. So if I hop over into SketchUp, this is the row house file that I use to create a lot of the, or experiment with a lot of the techniques in the book. And if you look here, there are a ton of scenes up here. So the reason we have these scenes is because we have a couple of requirements for any CAD drafting system. And so when I was approaching this, I thought, well, we have to be able to control line weights, and we have to be able to work with consultants, and our hatching has to be dynamic. In other words, if I move a wall, I need the hatch to follow that wall. And even more so than that, I need my 3D model to generate my 2D diagrams. And so we've accomplished all of that, but it does require some organization. So you've got a lot of layers, and you need to keep things on their respective layers and containers and groups and all that stuff. But once you have your model built, well, then you have to create your construction documents. And so in SketchUp and LayOut, in order to do that, each drawing has 3 different viewports to create it. So you've got your heavy viewport, you've got your light viewport, and then you've got your hatch viewport. So once you get into layout, that's what it looks like over here. So you can see that we have a complete drawing. This is the second floor. And you can see that we have a thick line weight here. We have a thinner line weight for our windows and our fixtures and doors. And then we have also our hatching. And disregard the way that hatch looks. It's just rendering at a low setting right now. That's why it doesn't look totally accurate. So let's look at how those come together. So if I just move these viewports apart, you can see we have those 3 scenes. Now each one of these scenes that translates into a viewport, each one has very different needs. For instance, let's start with our heavy viewport. So that sets to Plan 02 Heavy. We have to assign an architectural scale. We have to assign a render setting. So the heavy viewport always renders as vector. The light viewport always renders as a hybrid. Again, on the Styles tab, we have to assign a line weight of 0.2 for light, 0.5 for heavy, and then lastly, hatch. We want to set that to 1/4 inch. Here's our scene, and we render those as hybrid just because that catches everything. Technically, this one could render as a raster. So you can imagine that in order to create these, typically what you would do is you would go to File and choose Insert, and you would insert your row house model, and then you'd have to duplicate the viewport and assign these layers and use your arrange command to send to back and bring forward to make sure that these viewports are all stacked exactly as shown in the book. So that's a good thing to understand for sure, but there's an easier way to do it now. So I've created some scrapbooks, and let me show you what those look like. So again, at SketchUpExchange.com, you're just going to go to your scrapbooks tab here under the TSWFA heading, and then click here to download. It's going to be a zip file. You're going to want to put those into your resources Scrapbooks folder. Check out chapter 3 if you need help doing that, or you could just open it in LayOut and choose Save as Scrapbook. So let's do this. I've downloaded those, or I've created those and saved them into my folder. So now you can see we have the TSWFA construction plan. All right, so now each scrapbook file, right now I only have the construction plan out there, but each one is a different drawing type or different drawing in general. So this one only relates to a construction plan. So within the scrapbook, we have several different pages which correspond to the level. So if I click on this arrow, you can see we have level 2, level 3, and level 4. Right now, I've only included 4 levels. We'll see if we generate a need for more. Okay, so all I need to do now is add the plan that I want. So on level 1, I'll add a 1/4 inch plan right here. And then I'm going to go to my pages, and let's duplicate the page. That way we get all this extra title block stuff that we're going to want. And I'll go to level 2. And here I have a 1/4 inch plan. And then I'll duplicate my page, go to level 3, and add a 1/4 inch plan. I'll duplicate my page, erase that viewport, go to level 4, and let's add another 1/4 inch plan. All right, so now we'll duplicate one more time, and this time I want to go to level 2 where the kitchen is, and I want to add an enlarged plan. We'll do a 1/2 inch plan of the kitchen. I'll just kind of throw that up there, and let's just do a 3/4 inch plan of the stairs. All right, so I've just dropped in all these scrapbooks, so now I've really built my set pretty quickly. All I need to do is go to File, Document Setup, and there's this file already in here. It says relink this file. So this file, if I relink it to my Dropbox in the SketchUp Workflow folder under Rowhouse, I'm just going to sync it up with my rowhouse.skp file. And watch what happens. We're on auto render, so it's going to think for just a moment. And now we can close this, and all I need to do is stretch my viewport out. So all of my viewports have the appropriate line weights on them assigned. The hatch, all the levels or the different viewports are stacked accordingly. Everything is already set up for you. So all I need to do is go through here and just kind of resize my viewports and arrange these drawings on the page. So that's much easier than going through and doing the whole duplicate viewport, adjust all the settings in your SketchUp model, and then you move on to the next and you got to pick through it again. So this way, completely automated on the back end. I think this is going to be a huge time saver and make this system that much more of a competitor as a CAD replacement. All right, so now we got that one. And let's see, one more here. So we'll do this. Stretch that out a little bit more. All right, so now we got those. Now check it out on our last enlarged plans page. I can just kind of crop this down to include only the stairs, like that. And I'll just kind of put that on there as just a kind of a placeholder there. All right, and then this one we want it to be a 1/2 inch plan of our kitchen. So I just stretch these around. I'll get that stretched up a little bit further. And we can crop that through there. All right, so there's my 1/2 inch plan of the kitchen. So pretty slick. That's a much quicker way. Everything is all set up for you. You just got to add your scrapbooks. Now, let's take a moment to look at how this scrapbook is actually built. So what you can do right now, there's just these 4 pages. You click on Edit, and now you can see this is what the scrapbook looks like. So each one of these it's a group, so I can ungroup it, and then you can see that. Let's see. Let me undo that move. So I had everything selected. So now you can see we've got if I look at these different scenes, we have LO plan 01 space dash space light. And then we've got heavy and we've got hatch. So the only thing that is important for you moving forward, or at least the main goal or main task to make this work right, is that you need to adhere to the exact same naming conventions as shown in this placeholder file. So let me show you what that looks like. I can right click on any one of these viewports and choose Open with SketchUp. And so you can see within this placeholder file, I've got these scenes named. When you're creating your model, you're going to need to set up those scenes and name them and choose which layers and styles, based on your own graphic style or graphic standards. And as long as you name these scenes exactly the same as I name mine, everything's going to link up just perfectly. And when I was building this placeholder file, keep in mind, all this model is really, there's nothing to it because the model doesn't matter. The shadows, the layers, the styles, nothing about it matters. The only thing that we need to link up is the fact that this scene name needs to mesh with your scene name in your design file. So we can close this and we don't need to save that. Cool. So in closing, we can hop back into SketchUp Exchange. Again, you just go to TSWFA, you've got your Scrapbooks page here, and then the online workshop for learning this system from front to back. Again, very affordable, very manageable chunks. We're going to have more of a lecture type series. We'll record all of our sessions, so part of this is that you'll have the opportunity to review, and then we'll do some office hour type interaction, all online, so you'll have a chance to ask questions about your project. So pretty psyched about that. Look forward to seeing all you guys in there, and definitely be sure to leave some feedback and comments. We're definitely excited to hear from you and understand how we can make this even better. And again, we always appreciate it if you can like our videos and share on Twitter and pass them around, because that really helps us to keep doing what we're doing. So we'll talk to you guys soon, and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.